What's going on? I am back from my trip up to Lake of the Woods. That is a lake that I grew up fishing, so it's always fun to get back up to the home waters and fish with my dad. This time we fished it quite a bit differently than we typically do. Oftentimes we're taking our snowmobiles out, moving around from spot to spot, checking a lot of different areas, trying to find active fish, and trying to find your more quality fish. Like I said, this time was much different because this fall, my dad actually picked up a wheelhouse, so we kind of joined the crowds, went on out, fished out of the wheelhouse for a little while, and just got to relax and spend some time together. The nice thing about that is that it's easy fishing that anyone can do. So it was great spending some time with my dad as I get older, as he gets older. Those times that we get to fish together are something that I just cherish more and more every year. So one thing about my dad is he hates being the center of attention, hates being on camera, so that always adds a little entertainment value. But he was a trooper. We had a great time. He even joined me for part of it. So as I was digging through some of the footage, I decided to split it into two different videos. Part one will be this video. It was from our first day out there. The morning we kind of stuck in the wheelhouse, just fished in there and caught a lot of small fish. I didn't show much of that on there because it was a lot, like I said, small fish. What I did show is once we decided to venture out, we kind of ventured out, went to some different areas, tried to find some more quality fish, which we did. So I'll show you a little bit of that here in this video. And then part two, which will be the next video, hopefully coming out shortly, that will be where we stuck in the ice castle for our last morning and just did a little father versus son fishing challenge. One of the things about me and my dad is we are both very competitive. So that's always a lot of fun. Had a great time doing that with him. Should be an entertaining video. One of the things that I want to do before we get into the footage from the first day is to do a quick lake breakdown of Lake of the Woods. Kind of what your typical patterns you'll see are. This is going to be very basic. It's not going to be your spot on the spot, that sort of thing. What it's going to be is going to be a very basic, very general breakdown of Lake of the Woods and some of the patterns that you'll see. And it's changed a lot from the time when I grew up fishing it to now. So I'll talk a little bit about that, show you where some of the areas are. So if you're new to Lake of the Woods or not really sure, there's going to be an awesome opportunity to show a little bit about what the lake is about, some of the typical patterns that you will see. The way that I'm going to be doing that is through my Navionics app on my phone. It's a handy tool to have on your phone. It's not going to have as detailed contours as, say, a Lake Master chip. I love my Lake Master chip. I love all the tools that it has and how detailed the contours are. But this is a great tool to have, just have at your disposal at any time, being able to look at your general lake breakdowns. And some of them are a little more detailed than others depending on the lake. Lake of the Woods isn't bad, but it's not going to be as detailed, like I said, as the Lake Master chip. So I'm going to show you a little bit about Lake of the Woods. One of the first things that you'll notice about Lake of the Woods is it's broken up into a lot of different areas. You know, you have up here, that's your northwest angle. That's going to be a lot different than the south side of the lake. So when you hear people say the south side of Lake of the Woods or the south shore, that's a lot of this stuff anywhere in that Muskeg Bay, over to Baudette, Long Point, Rocky Point, any of these areas right in here. As I zoom in into the Muskeg Bay, this is over by Warroad. There are some reefs over here. There are some flats over here. There's a lot of different stuff that you can fish right out of Warroad. This side doesn't seem to get hit quite as bad as over by the Baudette area, but there still tends to be plenty of traffic out there. As you venture out, there's 5 Mile Reef, there's 12 Mile Reef, there's 16 Mile Reef. And out of Rocky Point, there's a lot of reefs out of there as well. Long Point, some reefs out of that. And then as you get farther east, you get to Zipple Bay, which is a lot of the flats. There are some reefs, some structure out there as well. And as you get towards Pine Island, that's the area that a lot of people head out of. You hear a lot of, there's 12 miles out of Pine Island. They are 15 miles out of Pine Island. And that is going out just off of these flats. So a typical pattern that you'll see in the wintertime is a lot of small fish in these flats. You can have some decent action, but your quality is definitely going to be smaller than maybe some of the other areas. So if you're looking for action, that's where a lot of these wheelhouses go. And that is primarily where you're going to get a lot of your action. One of the things that I like to do in order to find some more quality fish is to move up onto those reefs. You know, there's a ton of reefs. Like I said, out of Warroad, around Rocky Point, around Long Point, there's a lot of those rocky reefs that can hold fish. Although one of the things we've been noticing this year is some of those reefs that are holding fish often this time of year are completely void of fish. There's not houses around them, there's not anything. A lot of those fish are out in those deep, muddy flats still. And the crazy thing about it is there's miles and miles and miles of flats. So one of the things that if you're able to get away from the crowds, it seems crazy, but sometimes you can just drive miles away from anybody, plop down, wait for those fish to come find you. It seems crazy, but we've had a lot of success just going out in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes it will be an absolute bust, but every once in a while you can find something that is just lights out. You can have some good action mixed in with some good quality, and the best part about it is you're away from people. So if you're wondering, especially if you have snowmobiles or something to move around fairly easy, I know travel on the lake is pretty easy this year, but normally you're not gonna be able to access a lot of those other than maybe a snowmobile or something with tracks. So that's something to try. If you're wondering about where to go, Go out in the middle of nowhere, give it a shot. It seems so hard, especially for me. I'm someone that likes to fish a lot of structure, so it's very challenging to do that, to get yourself to go out in the middle of nowhere. But we've done it, we've tried it, and it's worked. So don't hesitate to try that as well. Spread out, get away from the crowds. Like I talk about a little bit in this video, we started out fishing some of that deeper mud. We found a few fish, wasn't anything crazy. I wanted to try target some more quality fish. I talk about this a little bit in the video, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But I ended up moving to a reef, moving up on top of that reef a little more, and we ended up finding a few more quality fish. Here's a look at day number 1. Right away you get to meet Papa Tim, so enjoy.
Are you ready for me to introduce you?
No, I'm not.
Why?
Because you know what, I don't like doing that.
What if I'm already recording?
Well, that's too bad. I'm going to leave and bring some stuff in. Like you should be helping me.
Well, there he is, Papa Tim. You'll get to see him a little bit more later once we get everything rolled up. I'm going to get all my gear in, get everything packed up, and we will touch base in a minute. Well, we got the party lights going now, so you know what that means. Well, we finally just got set up. It's about 10 o'clock and I am ready for bed. We got the iFish Pro set up with bells on it for the evening in case there is any fish that bite. We did see a couple fish come through on the Livescope. There's a couple nice fish. I do have a trout and pout spoon with some minnows hanging off of it in case we do have a big old burbot come through. So we will see if we have any action throughout the night. If not, we will see you in the morning. Ooh, this one's darting up. There he is. About the same. And that right there has been our morning. He just swallowed that thing. These fish have been tiny, but they have been aggressive. So that has been our morning right there. A lot of small saugers, a few walleyes mixed in. It's about 10:15 right now. We had kind of a lazy morning. It was like 20 below this morning, so we decided to just kind of hang out in the camp here. And we had a lot of action, which was a lot of fun, but they were all, like I said, just these tiny fish. So I figured that wasn't anything that you needed to be a part of. So while we have been having a lot of action, we are going to pack up here. We have the snowmobiles running. We've had them running for the last 20 minutes, but we've had so much action that we haven't gotten a chance to get everything packed up. Finish getting stuff packed up, getting our gear on, and then we're gonna head out, see if we can find some quality fish. We've been having a lot of luck with some of these smaller fish, which is kind of your Lake of the Woods special, these 8 to 12-inch saugers with some smaller walleyes mixed in. And then you'll get a kicker every now and again, but we wanna go try find just a little better average quality, so we're gonna be bouncing around. It's gonna be cold, so we're gonna be fishing in the houses, but we're gonna see what we can find, try a lot of different stuff, try some structure, try some deeper mud type stuff, and just try a variety of different locations in search of some bigger fish. So we'll head out, and hopefully the next time you'll see me, we'll be reeling in some fish. Oh, there you bit my dead stick. And he's on. Maybe. Small. Just sat with it. Another smaller sauger. So there we go. Lots of these here in Lake of the Woods. The area that we're fishing right now is actually kind of off. Lake of the Woods has a lot of these kind of deeper, muddy areas. So we're kind of off there's some structure not too far away, but we're off that structure in about 30 to 35 feet is kind of where we're bouncing around, off in some of this mud. So I've seen a couple fish cruise through. That was the first one that's bit. It came and bit the dead stick and just sat with it in its mouth. That's a nicer mark. Couple fish coming in. Oh, that thing smoked it. This is a nicer fish. Make sure I was recording. I just got set up in this new spot. Oh, that's a better fish. More what we're looking for. Right there, I'm all sorts of cockeyed here. That is a better fish. It came in nice and just smoked it. I literally just got my stuff down. I'm spot number 3 for the day. It's kind of an extension off of a rocky hump, and it goes out into some deep water. I'm kind of on an inside bend. And the one thing that I really like is the first fish that I pick up is
much nicer than anything else. I mean, it's not a giant by any means. We might not have as much action, but if we can get into a little better quality, that would be great. And every once in a while out in these reefs, there can be some big fish that move through. Bottom. Ooh, looks like he's coming up hard. There he is. Ooh, this one's gonna come in. Jeez, that thing came and smoked it. Oh, he's gonna go up after my dead stick, maybe. Yep. Ooh, that guy is coming up like crazy. Man, these things have just been smoking it. There we go. Lots of these guys. A lot of these. Sauger, just a little bit better fish, not much. Not much better, but a tiny bit better sauger. Number, I don't even know how many for the day. Ooh, something's coming up. Looks a little more aggressive. Looks a little better fish. Whoa, he's biting my dead stick. Whoa, came up and smoked it. Doesn't feel big. Another sauger. Another one of those guys. Get him back down. And see if this guy wants to bite. There he is.
So how many barbecues do you want? Are you fighting one right now?
Yep.
Okay.
Say hi to the camera, Dad.
Oh.
Walleye this time.
Yeah.
Another little walleye. I'd show the rest of that barbecue in my mouth because that fish came just flying in. Whoa, this one might actually bite. It bit. Not too often you get those suspended marks to bite. And it was what I was thinking. Although it didn't act too much like it. Here we go. We got a tulipy. Give you one more look at that stinky little guy. That one came through suspended. Usually when you can catch those suspended like that, they come in a group of 2 or 3 and they chase up, chase up, chase up, chase down. That one just kind of came up and bit almost like a walleye. That is one of the fun things about Lake of the Woods is you really never know what you're going to catch. You could catch a 30-inch walleye. You could catch a state record burbot. You could catch a giant perch. There's just kind of endless opportunities for a lot of different species. Once or twice a year, you hear of actually lake trout being caught on the south end here. Another one coming up for my... There we go. Not a big fish. But they sure have been smoking it. There we go. Another little dink sauger. Well, it's a little after 4, caught a bunch of fish, a lot of small ones, a few that were big enough to keep for a meal. But I'm going to head up a little bit shallower, a little bit higher on this reef for the evening, see if we can get some bigger fish, see if we can get a little bit of a night bite going. Again, doesn't look, well, a little bit bigger maybe. That's a little better fish. There you go. Not a giant, but definitely better than those 12 inchers. That's a little more what we're talking about. There we go. Nice walleye. That one came off bottom just like it was supposed to. Looks decent though. Come on, come up and crush it. Oh, I got 2 coming in. Oh, I want. Oh, which one's gonna crush it? Come on. Oh, I think the bigger one's coming for it. Oh, that's a good fish. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. That's the one we wanted. That was the bigger one of the 2. Oh, come on. It's right at... Yes. That is what we are talking about. Ooh.
fun fish right there. Had to turn the lights off. That's a good fish right there. Sweet. The lights back on. So we can see that release. Sweet. Whoa. That was the kind of release you like to see. Sweet fish. Well, we moved up on top here to hopefully find a few bigger ones. And the first two we catch, one is about 18, that one's about 23. Awesome. That's what we were looking for. It's about 4:45, so we don't have a lot of light left. And the night bite on Lake of the Woods typically isn't great, but I'm hoping that we can at least stick a couple more. Well, we are back in the warmth of the ice shack. Didn't really do an outro out there. It was getting kind of dark, decided to pack up and leave. So this will be a little bit of an outro for the first day. So we decided to venture to a little more structure. We went to kind of a rocky reef, and we started out a little bit off the edge and a little bit deeper water. Again, catching quite a few fish right away. I think I caught that first about 16, 17-inch walleye, and then we sorted through quite a few more saugers, small walleyes. Moved a little bit up top, a little bit closer on top of the reef, a little bit more into those rocks, and we actually ended up finding a few bigger fish. I caught around a 23-incher, another 18-incher. My dad caught a couple low 20-inch walleyes as well, so fun night, kind of a fun way to end with a few of those bigger fish. Ended up finding a few to keep for a fish fry coming up. I'm gonna get some lines in the water, get the oven heated up because we are going to have some pizza for supper. One of the coolest things about staying out in the ice castle is just all of the different things that you can do that you would be able to otherwise. Just being able to throw in a pizza while fishing is pretty incredible. So excited to do that, kind of regroup, get our stuff figured out what we're gonna do for the morning. We're only gonna be able to fish till early morning, maybe into the afternoon just a little bit, because then we're gonna be heading back to my hometown of Roseau and celebrating some birthdays.